The Department of State Services has, of course, released the Labour leader, the president of the NLC, Mr. Joe Ajaero. And the NLC is condemning the arrest of his leader by the secret police. And they had warned earlier and asked that it was to be released by midnight or they would take appropriate actions. Where the union had also put all its affiliates, state council, and civil society allies on all patriotic Nigerians on the highest state of alert in the light of what they describe as a troubling development. Mr. Ajaero confirmed that he has been released and he was being grilled by the secret police, but they allowed him to go yesterday night at about 11 p.m. The Nigerian Labour Congress president said he was grilled for about 15 hours since he was arrested around 7 a.m. at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. Mr. Ajaero says that his travel passport has now been seized by the secret police, and the Labour leader said though he was detained by the DSS, some police officers also came around to grill him at the DSS office in Abuja over the hashtag End Bad Governance nationwide protest that took place in August. Ajaero says that he was grilled and quizzed over alleged terrorism financing involving a British national, Andrew Wine, whom also we spoke to exclusively on here on Channels Television. Of course, you can see that interview on our website and, of course, on our YouTube page. The Labour leader says now that he will travel, he was going to travel to the United Kingdom for a global trade union congress event before he was arrested. But let me allow you to listen to some of the troubling comments being made by some of the Labour leaders. They say that the Nigerian state is after them, and in fact, that they are looking into their secretly listening to their telephone conversation. Take a listen to one of the Labour leaders.
We're in a police state, but we'll find that quite embarrassing. Not because we do not know the character of the regular police state, but that the people perpetrating this evil themselves were once called themselves champions of democracy. And we have them here on video clips, chanting, saying all manner of things against previous governments at Ojota. If anybody within this administration thinks by harassing Joe Ajaero or by monitoring the executives of NLC, tapping their phones, invading their privacies and all of that, that they will take us off our trajectory, they'll be making a very costly mistake. Because Nigerians are with us on this. I want to tell you this.
All right. Yeah, one of the spokesperson of the NLC. Let's get some insight. Is it the modus operandi of the secret police in Nigeria? And what would make them to intervene or take those kind of action, especially when a citizen, someone in the caliber of the NLC president is traveling out of the country and he was arrested, he was detained or grilled for almost 15 hours. His passport has been seized by the DSS. All of these issues. Well, Sarah Apostle on one hand is saying that his Abuja office was being ransacked and raided, but the DSS said they did not do that. Let's listen to a former DSS and one man who spent almost all his life working for the secret police, Mr. Dennis Amakri, who joins us virtually. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight. Thank you, Sean. Is this the DSS that you know, that you worked with, or is it a different one? Because when we wonder, is this the MO or the standard operating procedure of the DSS? Or what do you make of the scenario involving the DSS and Mr. Ajaero?
I think the MO is the same. But I think somebody, especially officials of the Nigerian Labour Congress, are trying to change the narrative. They are changing the narrative to suit themselves. But one thing they don't understand, and which should be clear to every Nigerian here, is that the person of Joe Ajaero is different from the president of the NLC. That is the clear point. Because, you know, if a managing director of a company, for instance, is domestically abusing his wife and is gotten arrested, will not say, oh, they've arrested the CEO of this company. It's different. His CEO job is different from his domestic violence case. So I think that is what we have to make very, very clear. The point here is that Ajaero himself has been a suspect in an ongoing investigation. And then, of course, the police invited him. And then, of course, he finished talking with them. He's not supposed to leave the country because it's an ongoing investigation. And then, of course, he tried to take off from the country. Many people have been running away from the law. You remember the Binas case, where the man went to pray and from there escaped and went out. And of course, same public, they were very, very angry with the security agencies. How can you allow somebody like this to just disappear, to run away from your custody? And we've had many cases like that. And of course, this particular case, they have to stop him from traveling. That's why when he was arrested and taken to the office, it's his passport that was taken to stop him from traveling. You know, it's not that they want to kill him or they want to do any other thing. And then, of course, the NLC have to beat the drum or they're attacking us. NLC was the same NLC that was singing Bosa for the president when they agreed on a 70,000 naira minimum wage. I was watching it, and I felt that there was a very good relationship between the labor unions and the presidency. Now, suddenly, you know, because of Ajaero now, everything has turned around. Even in Imo State, where he was arrested or molested, that was not a labor issue. So we have to separate his personality from the office that he holds.
I mean, we've seen Casey. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Fantastic. So I'm wondering, this procedure of DSS seizing citizens' passport is not the first time. In fact, there are very popular cases of Olisa Agbakuba and others versus the DSS, where the court says his passport, when he was to travel to The Hague, and that case was a very popular one, and the court says you cannot stop any citizen from traveling, freedom of ingress and egress, and you cannot do that. Why does the DSS keep doing that?
It is very, very clear. The passport, the Nigerian passport, look at it. Take your passport and look inside. That passport belongs to the federal government of Nigeria. Doesn't belong to the person carrying it. That passport belongs to the federal government.
It's not about the item. It's about the implication of what a passport will do for the citizen. So if you have infringed on the right of the citizen from traveling, which is a fundamental right of the citizen to move around any part of the world.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't happen like that. Security agents all over the world, if they want to restrict your movement, they will seize your passport. And that passport belongs to the country that issues it. You know, so it is not a situation of trying to just seize the passport. And let me tell you something about watch lists. Because, you know, I've been in charge of Murtala Mohammed Airport when I was in service. And the watch list is a list that is raised by security agents. And then, of course, it is being populated by other security agencies, even countries, of wanted people or people that are of security interest. They list it there, and when such people are moving, then the alert will be raised and they will stop them. Some country call it
does it mean that Joe Ajaero is on the watch list?
Exactly, because he's not the only traveler, but there must be a stop on his name. I don't know, but I can tell you that that would have been the system whereby they will pick him up from the line of people traveling.
So tell us, what kind of offenses would cause the state to stop a citizen from traveling? What are the grade and the level of offenses?
Okay, if you are under investigation, you cannot, in fact, besides the country, if you are under investigation in Lagos, the police will tell you not to leave town because you don't have to go there away and they'll start looking for you, or you can run away. That's one. So for terrorist financing, which he has been accused of and which is under investigation, he cannot leave the country. And even if he's leaving the country, where is he going? Remember, the man that was suspected, the main man that was suspected for financing the terrorism itself, is his tenant. And I don't think Ajaero is going to go to London and not talk to that same person, because he's in London, running his mouth. So if it is in a foreign country, that man would have been, put under custody too. But you are not supposed to leave your country until the investigation is over. So
in that case, the DSS could hold Ajaero's passport for as long as they want, except if the court says otherwise.
Oh, if the court says that, let him go, of course, it's a lawful order from the court. They will give it to him.
But the question here, Mr. Amakri, is Ajaero does not look like someone who could be violent or someone who could be invading arrest. Could there have been a warrant to arrest him, to question him? I'm just wondering the rationale behind the DSS actually accosting him at the airport. They know his house, they know his office, they know his whereabouts. Really, there's nobody in this country that the secret police want to go after and they don't know their whereabouts. Anyways, the NLC has accused the DSS of listening to their telephone conversation. So if that is the case, they know where everybody is. Nobody is a stranger as far as the Nigerian state is concerned.
Okay. Very well. They know his house. They know where he lives. They know where his children go to school. Okay? But it's inside the country. It's not supposed to leave.
Why arrest him at the airport? Doesn't that amount to professional hypocrisy? If you have all the powers to know, you have all your eyes everywhere, why can't you just pick him up? Why at the airport when you know that he has an appointment to make or an event to attend outside of the country? Evidently stopping him from attending that event.
Yes, there is an ongoing investigation. He cannot leave the country. They know where he lives, but they've allowed, even right now, they took his passport, they allowed him to go. They did not detain him. So the whole idea, although they know where he lives and everything, and he's inside the country, there's no reason, to arrest or detain him. Let him remain in the country while the investigations are going on. If they keep him now, everybody will start shouting, oh, they are detaining him. Oh, they are supposed to take him to court, you know. But remember, they cannot conclude this case because the major suspect is not in the country. And I'm very, very sure the National Intelligence Agency and the Foreign Affairs Ministry might be doing some kind of connections to make sure they repatriate that guy to Nigeria. If we have a repatriation agreement with Britain, I think they do. But that is the situation there. So he's being taken or being arrested. Yes, he can be arrested because they feel that he was trying to flee, you know, and that is very, very normal because somebody who is having a felony case on him, the security agencies can go ahead and make a felony arrest.
So now, I'm wondering, and I'm looking at how this all works. The other day, the whole world saw how Joe Ajaero, alongside his lawyer, Femi Falana, went to the Nigerian police, submitted himself for questioning, and at the end of the day, they allowed him go. So the question would be, why didn't the DSS invite him just like the police did? Or DSS don't invite people? Is that their MO?
I don't know, but I believe that he was invited. I believe that he was invited, and maybe he didn't show up. And then, of course, that will have even enhanced his name being on the watch list. Okay? And in fact, even the one with the police, when there is a very serious security problem, I think Nigerians should know. You don't tell the security agencies or the police when you will come. Oh, they want you to come to the station now. But you are saying, oh, no, I cannot come. I have some meetings to attend. I will come next week. It does not work that way. It does not work that way. And Nigerians should know that. You know, we are talking of a security department. In a democracy, that's why it's even, of course, making all these allegations and stuff like that. I have known situations in other countries where the government is more stricter, and then, of course, this will not be happening.
Well, I mean, there is a video flying around, and when we wonder how these will pan out on the optics of Nigeria and the civic space. This is the leader of the labor union. And the event he was supposed to attend, there are those members in that meeting who are saying that Mr. Ajaero is being persecuted by the Nigerian state. That is the optics in the global scene that Nigerian government is saying as persecuting Mr. Joe Ajaero. Is the DSS worried about optics?
Yes, Sean, you have to be very clear. That was what I started with. We have to change this narrative. The narrative is wrong. It is not the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress that is being invited. He's being invited for some other thing. So we have to separate the personality of Joe Ajaero from the president of NLC.
So let me put it in a perspective. So because some of us are in the business and we're trained as a communication expert. So part of what you do is also not only in the chemistry or the semantics of what you say, is also how it looks and how it feels. So yes, you're not just only saying it because it suits you to say, but you need to also be considerate and also be conscious and sensitive to the ears of those who are listening. So the question about optics comes on the heels of the fact that there is an outrage in the nation about price of a major commodity that affects the bottom line and the lives of the citizen, causing hardship. And this is a man who is in the forefront of fighting for the rights of the citizen. And so even if you have anything against this man or he's done anything untoward, couldn't the DSS be smart or be wise enough to have handled this in a different way, even if he has done anything wrong, such that you are not making it look like you are not happy to the voice of dissent, and you are now clamping down on the voice of those who are fighting for the majority of the helpless and those who are the downtrodden of our people? The optics is very key. Is your training or the training of the people who work as secret police in Nigeria usually thinking about such line?
Seun, I have said it very, very clearly. We are dealing with a case involving Joe Ajaero. And then, of course, the labor union is different. I don't know where we are pushing this narrative that the government is trying to suppress the voice of dissent. I don't work for government. You know, I'm out here looking in and then weighing, analyzing the whole situation. What's the voice of dissent? I don't see any problem with NLC and the government. I can't see it. There is no problem. Like I told you just some weeks ago, they were with the president and they were hailing him. You know, so it is not a matter of the government and NLC. Joe Ajaero has a terrorism case to answer. And of course, it's not above the law. You can be president of the NLC. You can be the managing director of the biggest company, you know. But if you have a case, a security case, especially bordering on terrorism or subversion, then you have to answer that. In fact, I think the security agents have been very, very nice to him in the sense that they've been really communicating with him, talking to him. Even the police have to allow him to come the day he wanted to come. He has to bring all his lawyers to go with him. Remember, he went with all his lawyers to go to police station, you know, which he would have gone by himself. But
so,
no
Mr. Makri, so fundamentally, Joe Ajaero is now somewhat cannot travel, but the 15 hours or how many hours of grilling, is that a tactical mental torture? Is that the way, is that what it is meant to do, to torture you mentally? Sometimes we've been told that you are being kept in a room for 3-4 hours and just to mentally mess you up. Is that the usual thing, or what is the 15 hours? What exactly does he want to say? What are the questions that he wants to answer for 15 hours?
Seun, you've been watching too many detective movies. I'm not here to talk.
This sounds like one, because the man himself said he's been detained for 15 hours for questioning and grilling. Yeah, so I'm very sure that some of those who have you have grilled in the past will be watching that, how long you have kept them too. Why do you people keep people for that long? Why?
No. I'm not here to discuss the techniques of how, you know, the security agencies interrogate people or interview people. Okay? So that is a different kettle of fish. All right? But they will get their information. They will get to the bottom of it. And that's what they are trained to do. But the way they go about getting it is left to them to do. And I think we should allow them to do it because, you know, if they don't do it, people will also shout, national security, why are these people so lazy? Why are they not doing what they are supposed to do? You see, we are not going to play a game where the security agencies are cowed and they cannot do their work.
All right. Mr. Dennis, I'm asking.
No, excuse me, Seun. You and I have even discussed it before, where government interference is even another thing. You know, we don't want politics to mix with security. So they have to be allowed to do their job.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis Amakri, for this insight that you are giving us on how things are working. Of course, the Nigerian government has also reacted. Mr. Bayo Onanuga, who speaks for the president, had come out to say that Nigeria is a country governed by law and categorically denies any kind of human rights abuse, and explaining that this is a modus operandi common to secret police across the globe. And in fact, this is what the DSS are done according to law, and there is no interference by the federal government of Nigeria. Thank you so much indeed, Mr. Amakri, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Jean.